All right. Hey guys, this is Tommy, aka Grendel Style, doing my live stream cooking show tonight. So I'm just gonna jump into it and start cooking. The other night I cooked some grilled marlin, and I still have some. So I'm gonna fry that up. So, all right, well, I'm gonna jump into it. Thanks, Plinko, and careful on the language. You're borderline. Borderline. But I appreciate you guys watching. So I sent you guys the link there. Got my website about getting ready to go up. But in the meantime, I figured I'd just start cooking for you guys. And I'll have the recipes up there soon, too. I'm going to do some sides, too, tonight. All right. Let's see here. So, like I said, I'm gonna do marlin. The other night I grilled it. Tonight I'm going to fry it, which is pretty simple. It's a little bit different. Also gonna do Brussels sprouts, and got some sweet potatoes to go with it. Let me adjust these camera angles here so this works a little bit better. There we go. Now it's veggie cam. And I'm wearing my Salty Crew shirt for the marlin. All right, I'm gonna get the veggies done first. Reason being, they tend to take a little bit longer than just frying stuff, especially the sweet potatoes. And I'm just gonna bake them. Quick rinse. When it comes to sweet potatoes, just like normal potatoes, you can leave the skin on if you want. And since I'm lazy and I kind of like the skin, I'm just gonna leave it on. All I'm gonna do is just kind of chop the ends off, cube it, and toss it in a pan. You know, one of the things I like about this kitchen is I got this big ass sink, which makes it much easier to clean stuff. And so I also keep the cutting board right next to the sink and the trash can because that makes it nice and simple to cut and chop stuff. This, just gonna grab a big ass baking pan, and probably gonna need another one for the Brussels sprouts, so we'll grab that guy for the next part. Plinko, I actually can't remember what the countertop is. It's actually not granite. It's like one of those alternative materials now, but it was less expensive than granite. But it's like pretty robust, and I like the way it came out. I guess just like Google granite alternatives. I'll have to go look it up. I did do most of the kitchen though. I got the house, the cabinets had already been ordered, so I was stuck with the white. But I like it because it's nice and modern, so I went with like a two-tone monochrome type modern look. By the way, I say this over and over again in my streams, but this guy, the chef's knife, is my best friend right here. Besides like steak knives, I don't really ever see the need for another type of knife in the kitchen. But that's just me. Everyone's got their opinions. I guess unless you're doing like chopping, but you can still do it with this. Or maybe like a cleaver if you're like hacking some meat up. Now, I don't do this because I don't always have the best of habits, but I've been told a lot of chefs like to roll their knuckles in because this way if you're slicing stuff, you only cut the tips of your knuckles off versus the tip of your fingers off, which I guess is less horrible than chopping fingertips off. The other thing I've been taught about using knives is I typically grab back on the handle, and with a knife like this, the nice thing about chef's knives, you use like a fulcrum, like that, and you just slice through it. It's a piece of cake. Yo, so Plinko's asking me, aka my friend Brian here, what I do for sharpening. So if I'm being particular and I'm being retentive, I have one of those Lansky kits. And the nice thing about it, it gets it at the perfect angle, and it's got like 5 different coarsenesses on the sharpener. I think it's one of the best methods for getting sharp, but the only thing is a little bit pain in the ass. It tends to take a little bit longer to sharpen knives, but it's really good. I'll be honest though, because sometimes I'm lazy. There's a knife shop like 10 minutes from me, and they charge like $5 per knife. And I don't know, it's pretty cheap and easy just to let them do it. They do a really good job. For some of my like cheaper knives, like field knives that I'm using the boat, I just use those like angle cutters for just doing something quick. But yeah, for my good knives, if I'm doing it myself, I use a Lansky. Otherwise, like I said, just take it to a local shop, and they can usually do it pretty cheap. All right, this needs olive oil. Of course, you're a real snob in the knives. Some brands and makers will use what's called a hollow ground, and that you need special equipment in case. You're better off just sending it back to the manufacturer. But a lot of high-end knife manufacturers will give you free sharpening, or just pay for the shipping, and they'll take care of it for you. And I can't really, but normal knife edges are a triangle. Here, I'll come to this camera. This is your normal knife angle, but if you're using hollow ground, they actually make it beveled in like this to give a little sharper angle. All right, sweet potatoes. You don't need a ton of flavoring, but I like to season the shit out of everything. This is gonna be simple: salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Now, one thing about garlic powder when I buy it, I don't buy garlic salt. I buy just the garlic powder with itself without the salt, because I just like to season it the way I want to do it, and I want to use something like sea salt, and that way it doesn't over salt what I'm seasoning. All right, that's looking about good. Need the spatula. Just kind of swirl around, try and coat it pretty good in the olive oil here. As I mentioned, I'm gonna probably flip on my website tonight or tomorrow. I don't have the recipes on there, so I gotta start populating that. But I'm gonna start putting the recipes to everything on the site. And since everything I kind of do is a la carte, I'll probably have each recipe as the item itself. Like the fried marlin's its own thing, the sweet potatoes are its own thing. That way you can just kind of pick and choose what you want. So in the meantime, don't want to forget, got to take the obligatory picture. Boom. And toss these in. And I'm baking it at 400 degrees. This usually takes roughly 40 minutes. So, and I kind of swing everything, but I'm gonna give it 20 minutes in there, and we'll check on it then. All right, that's going, and the Brussels sprouts are next. Another thing that's convenient about working from home is I tend to cook a lot and eat just a lot of leftovers. So I end up usually cooking big meals. That way I can just have leftovers during the week. I'll just reheat it. Great. Plinko, I appreciate it. He hates garlic salt. Garlic powder is the bomb. It is the better way to go. Please don't buy garlic salt. You're going to oversalt stuff. You're just better off that way. All right. Brussels sprouts, pretty simple. I think people have different ways of doing this, but mine I'm going to do very similar to sweet potatoes. Same thing, olive oil in a pan. Put the seasoning aside. Got too many on this plate. Move those over. I do like my Brussels sprouts a little bit on the crispy side. But all I do is cut the stubs off, chop them in half. Oops. Most of these I just end up chopping in half. I guess sometimes you can just, little ones, toss them in by themselves. I just like to get them so they're kind of crispy on the outside, but tender on the inside. I still throw a lot of the leaves in there. They tend to get kind of too crispy and burnt, but some people like that. There's actually a place here in town that's got these like charred Brussels sprouts. They're pretty good, but they tend to just burn the shit out of them. They're a little bit overdone, but I guess some people like that. I actually bitched about it once, that they like way overburned them, and she gave me a funny look. I was like, all right, fine. That's what you do. Let it go. Little guy. All right. Let's see here now. All right, this I think we're going to do kind of similar. I'm going to do some salt. By the way, I know I have a terrible habit at this, but I tend to oversalt stuff, but it's okay. Work out, drink some water. You'll be fine. And we'll do some generic Italian seasoning. All right, these guys are just about ready to go. Well, they're basically ready to go. Gonna kind of stir them up here. Get the olive oil coat all over them. And we're gonna toss those in too. Perfect. All right, so I got 15 minutes left on the check, so that's about perfect for the Brussels sprouts. Let's see here. So now we might as well prep the fish. Another thing I try to do, and this just comes with timing, is get that magical point where everything comes out at the same time. Not always perfect to do, but you kind of get an idea for what takes what time and prep and all that stuff. Guys down. All right. Now, the other thing I mentioned in my streams is this is just my habit, but I tend to let go. The nice thing about that is by the time you're done cooking and eating, you don't have too much to clean up. And another thing, always clean your kitchen before you go to bed. Don't leave a nasty, gross kitchen. All right. Got marlin. Just pat this guy down. And like I said, the other night, I grilled it. Tonight, we're just going to fry the rest of it. I'm going to cut these a little bit thinner. I'm going to get like 3/4 inch. And I think this time, just because I'm experimenting with it, I'm going to do like 1/2 inch. Basically, my streaming channel is Glorified Food Porn. And marlin, pretty tough, so we don't eat that. We're kind of missing the fish here. Let's see here. Trying not to lose a little bit. No big deal. This piece is a little bit thinner on this side than the other one. You know, just for the hell of it, because I haven't tried this, I'm going to fry it with the skin on, because the bread comes off pretty easily. I don't want to lose all that meat there. Okay. Let's see. Next part. Now, I said I do keto. Most of the time I do keto. Yeah, I cheat every once in a while. It's okay. So, what I found is do fried stuff, and it still tastes good, is you go and get yourself almond flour. In fact, I just ordered another big ass bag of it, so if I run out, I get a big bag here. It's pretty cheap. You can buy it online, you can buy it in most grocery stores, and it's just fine almond flour. You look at it, this says 2 tablespoons is 5 grams of carbs. And again, since you're just, this one's quarter cup is 5 grams. Since you're just coating it on the outside, you're not getting a lot of carbs in there. All right, throw the marlin in the pan, sorry, in the bowl. Get this guy out of the way, it's all fishy. Probably fishy too. All right. Well, I'm gonna do, just to keep the theme kind of similar flavoring. First, we're gonna hit with salt. That's a must. Keep in mind when you cook with salt, it tends to cook down a bit. So, go, and a little pepper. And same thing, we'll use the same Italian seasoning on this. Flip those guys over. All right, I think we're good to go on that. And the last thing is the almond flour. That, just kind of toss them on the side in the bowl and just kind of roll it around. It did dry it off, but I figure it, in my experience, it's still damp enough where you don't need to use egg or anything on there. You just kind of coat it with the almond flour. Get that guy all coated up, get all the sides, even the skin. I'm going to pull that skin off. Get those guys all coated. All right, so boom, put that there. I did forget to take that Brussels sprout picture, so I'm thinking about it. Let me get. Well, I guess they're kind of cooked already, but it'll still work. Boom, toss that guy back in. Get that out of the way. Got the marlin. I use Snapchat, but it's just my personal one, so I don't know if I'm gonna do a Grendel style Snapchat if it's worth it or not, but we'll see. They say like you're supposed to be on all the social medias, I guess. Here, let's get this guy out of the way, get you out of the picture. Here, I'll bring you back. Do a little caption. Yeah, Plinkle says I should be on OnlyFans. I mean, I could guess I could do like a cooking stream. I'll just take my shirt off. Just let things go from there. Yeah. I don't know. Hey, if it pays, right? 20 bucks is 20 bucks. Not the way this works. Ooh, let's see here. We're going to do fry. All right, pictures are done. Might as well get the pans ready. And because we're not doing too much, we're going to use the smaller cast iron pan. I'm a huge fan of cast iron. I like it a lot. Please don't use soap on your cast iron. Everyone should know that by now. It's like sacrilege. Okay. Kind of doing medium, low heat, low heat. Now, when it comes to cooking with oils, I tend to use either olive oil or avocado oil. The nice thing about avocado oil is it's got a little higher smoke point. A lot of times it has a little more of like a buttery flavor to it. So, and because I'm frying stuff, I'm going to cook the fish in the avocado oil. Yes, thank you, Brian. It is a well-seasoned cast iron. I like to take care of my cast irons, and they're like my little babies. I keep thinking about buying some like really expensive cast iron, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. But maybe if I get enough sponsors, get them to like, here's a $200 cast iron pan, and I'll just show it off all the time and get free cookware out of it. That'll work, right? Is that the strategy there? But yes, so like I said, I'm going to use avocado oil. It's got a higher smoke point. The other thing from my perspective, and again, everything here is just my opinion, but doing keto and especially just eating healthier foods, staying away from, I believe it's, maybe I don't want to get the terms wrong here, but I think it's like hydrogenated oils. And like processed oils are not as healthy for your body. So I tend to stay away from like canola oil and vegetable oils and such like that, and stick with like your avocados, your olive oils. And there's other I'm leaving out, but that's my quick list. And usually olive oil and avocado oil are too expensive. So I got the cast iron started. Got a brand new bottle of this, need to crack open. You're gonna crack and open bottles. Now, I was like, do I want mine? Get these guys put away. Now, another thing I'm considering, because I actually am using some different cameras for all these angles, is I was wondering about putting one like right here above the stove to show the angles. But I don't know. I don't know if it's high enough. I'd have to fiddle with it to see if it's going to be a good setup. And then I have to buy another camera. Not a big deal, but. And Brian does say canola vegetable oil is good for like shallow deep frying, and I do agree with that. Better for flavor, but I just usually cast iron fry stuff like this, and it works. All right, so I'm going to flip the veggies, throw them back in, and then I think timing-wise, we'll throw the marlin on in a few minutes here. And I need that. These you can see so far looking pretty good. We kind of flip them around, toss them back in. Oh, and by the way, the sweet potatoes really aren't keto. I probably have like one or two tonight. But yeah, I tend to stick with like cauliflower. The Brussels sprouts, of course, are. Now, another night I'm going to do this. The other alternative to sweet potatoes, which are fantastic and much lower carbs, is butternut squash. And it looks and comes out very similar to the sweet potato. Oh, there goes the cooking alarm. There we go. Now I got the fire going. Fan on. And we'll turn the ventilation on, get that fixed. I've got one of those nests, so it's pretty tricky. I can, instead of having to walk upstairs, I can just turn the fan on from right here. Oh, there we go. I also jokingly call that the bacon alarm because no matter what I do when I cook bacon, I always tend to set that alarm off. And it's an annoying bitch, but what do you do? Can't take it down. At least I shouldn't. Okay. Brussels sprouts need to go in. You know, I'm going to drop the temp down a little bit. All right, timer. Do 15 more minutes on the sweet potatoes. I'll probably pull the Brussels sprouts in about 10. Which means it's time to fry fish. And this should be good to go. So we're just going to plop these guys in. What you can do to kind of like just speed up a little bit here is plop a lid on top of it. Now, luckily, the frying pans I have, the lids are the same dimensions as common cast iron, so these lids still fit. Okay, so that's cooking. I'm gonna finish cleaning up here while that cooks. And also, I think it's beer o'clock. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. And for the style of Mexico, I'm gonna drink some Mexican beer. Which again, in the spirit of sticking with keto, it's the ultra style premier beer, 2.6 grams of carbs. Yay, light beer. Another thing with knives, this is just me particularly, even though they're stainless, I don't leave them dirty, and I always dry them off and take care of them. Because a good knife, I like the saying, pay once, cry once. So you pay for something good, you only have to do it once, it'll last the rest of your life. So pay once, cry once, get good gear, take care of it, you'll be happy. Also, doing all your prep work like chopping vegetables with a sharp knife is heaven compared to having a shitty dull knife. Also, you're less likely to injure yourself because you're not going to slip and be fighting against a crappy ass dull knife. Also, if you guys have any tips, suggestions, requests, or complaints, like I said, the stream is brand new, so I'm still working some of the bugs out of it. I actually got to work on my Wi-Fi coverage a little bit. The IP cameras seem to lag a little bit sometimes. I get the bugs worked out of that, so I'm going to probably be fixing it this next week. But you can message me on Twitch. You could email me, grendelstyle@gmail.com. And as soon as my website's up, I'll have a contact form on there, which just goes to the same damn email, but you can bitch and complain on there all you want. And I will probably ignore you if you bitch. But at least you can send me a message. Fish is probably ready to flip. By the way, as far as getting things right on frying and grilling, it's just a matter of kind of getting used to it. The nice thing if we're cooking on low heat, I'm less worried about burning the shit out of it. And these are actually looking pretty good. Here, I'll grab the oven mitt because, of course, cast iron gets hot as shit. But you can see here, got the fish frying in the avocado oil, in the cast iron, getting kind of crispy. In fact, I'm going to kick it up just a hair because I want to crisp it outside a little bit more. Toss it on. Get some quick video here. In fact, this one's going to be online. It's a video. Hey guys, it's Tommy, Grendel Style. What am I doing? I'm frying up some marlin, and if you want, catch the live stream on Twitch, which is /Grendel Style, on YouTube, Facebook, and all the other social medias. All right, lid goes back on. Brussels sprouts are almost there. We're getting close. So most of the cooking I'm doing, I try to get everything done within 30 minutes, usually with prep time and cook time, be a bit longer. But most of these are 45 minutes end to end, which is pretty nice because you can have a good meal, enjoy it. It'll cost less than ordering out. It's healthier. So I definitely encourage it. When I actually been doing keto for over 3 years now, like 3.5. I dropped like 50 pounds. I exercise to go with it. I've kept it off. I do feel healthier. It's much nicer. So, yeah. I actually had a point where I was going with that, but I completely drifted off on my point and forgot. So here, in the meantime, let's play the different camera angles. What's this one? Oh. Let's see here. We want that one. That's a pretty good camera. I guess it's like the butt camera. We'll just stick with this. I do need to finish my Twitch layout. I've got a lot of it done. I got some of the alerts and notifications set up. And the chat box should show up on this feed. Yep, there it is. And it records into it too. You know, every time I stream, I've been seeing this guy. I don't know if he's actually watching. There's a guy named Lurks that's in my channel. So, hi Lurks, if you're actually watching this. I don't know, maybe you're just lurking around, stalking me in my channel. But if you are watching, I appreciate the watch. This is looking pretty good. I'm actually going to throw a little more heat on this. It looks like it's cooked about all the way through, but that way I try and crisp the outside just last. And Brussels sprouts I'm going to pull. I don't want to burn them, and they look good. Let's see here. Get the heat pad out, so I'll plop them down and stuff so you guys can see it. So there we go. The Brussels sprouts, like I said, I like them kind of on the charred side. Kind of crispy. They actually don't taste burnt when you do it this way. And if you poke it, you can kind of feel the soft on the inside. So those are actually perfect, right where I want them to be. Because I had the sweet potatoes in there. I was baking like 400. With Brussels sprouts, I'd probably actually bake them around 375. Like I said, it's usually about 25, 30 minutes to get them this way. But these guys are ready to go. I'm just gonna start eating on the camera. The fish, I'm gonna flip it. Give that just another minute. You know, the nice thing about using the lid, especially if you're frying, it keeps the grease burns down. All right, I'm going to grab something and I will be right back. All right, here we go. I think the fish is probably ready. And I'm gonna do this without burning myself. Now we might as well get the picture first, right? Got to document everything, go to social medias. Boom, got that. And I'll show you guys real quick. There we go, got the fish nice and fried. You can see it's white all the way through, so we know it's cooked. And you got it kind of crispy on the outside. There we go. There is the fried marlin. Like I said, we just sliced it up about half-inch steaks. It was salt, some pepper, Italian seasoning, and then stuck into the keto way. Threw some almond flour on it, and cast iron fried it in avocado oil, and like a low medium heat. I guess I could have gone medium on that, crisp a little bit more, but pretty happy with that. Where it's at. Hi, Nachos. Oh, by the way, Nachos is one of my mods. He really doesn't deserve it, but he's got mod privilege here. What does Nachos have to say? Oh my God, that looks extreme. He does actually talk that way. He seems very turned on by the food, which I'm glad it is. Because like I said, all the cooking streams are really just glorified food porn. So, last thing, we're just finishing this up. Let's make some room here. Got the Brussels sprouts, got the marlin. Sweet potatoes look on point. Let's put that there so I don't knock it off and burn my feet with hot oil. That would suck. I would blame Nachos, but we blame Nachos for everything. And yes, Plinko, I appreciate the 3 out of 10. Although just to push back a little bit, I'd probably give it like a 3 1/4 out of 10 on this one. Of course, if Nachos was not in the stream, it'd be back to 3. So that's where I get the extra 0.25 from Nachos participating in my stream. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go eat here in a second, but just again to wrap it up, Brussels sprouts, normally I'd bake those about 25 minutes to 30 minutes at 375. Salt, pepper, Italian seasoning on that. Sweet potatoes, very similar, got 400 degrees. That's about 40 minutes on these. Salt, pepper, garlic seasoning on that. And I already talked about the fried marlin. So I'm going to go put this in my face. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to take some few pictures, but I don't need to stream for that. So thank you for watching. This stuff will be on the website. It's on Twitch. It's on YouTube. And soon it'll be synced to Facebook, but I just got to get my ass to do that. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.